Hey everyone, I'm Chris Shadowin, and this is Reviews of the Nerds. Today I'm reviewing the Nateland podcast. Nate Bargatze is a stand-up comedian from Nashville. He has 2 comedy albums as well as several specials on Netflix and one that just released recently on Prime Video. During the pandemic, when comedians couldn't do their stand-up comedy in clubs, Nate grabbed a few pals to make a podcast. The Nateland podcast regulars are Nate Bargatze, Brian Bates, Aaron Weber, and Dusty Slay. Occasionally one of the guys won't be there and they'll have various guests. Each week the guys talk about where they've been on tour, answer fan mail, then discuss the topic of the week. Topics range from spies, the Supreme Court, dinosaurs, to gas stations, and who would win in a March Madness type bracket, but with animals instead of basketball teams. Needless to say, there's tons of variety in the topics they talk about each week. So, if you like laughing, if you have any joy in your heart, or if you just want to yell at some guys who have no clue what they're talking about, then this podcast is for you. If you enjoy stand-up comedy and want to hear some people that maybe you haven't heard before, this is a great place to start. And the wonderful thing about this show is that there isn't any cussing or inappropriate humor, just 4 guys being funny and making fun of each other. I've been a fan of Nate Bargatze for many years, but I didn't become a regular listener of the Nateland podcast until the 80th episode. Once I started listening, though, I haven't missed a week. If you're still on the fence, listen to episode 145, Animal Fights. That'll give you a good idea of what you're getting into. I love comedy, and it's hard to find clean content that I can listen to with my kids around. And while the podcast isn't a Christian podcast, at least 3 of the guys on there are followers of Jesus. So occasionally the topic of faith will come up. Just go listen. You'll thank me later. I'm Chris Shadowin, and remember, if you're hiking in the woods, just yell out, "Hey bear!" And for a deeper dive into media and worldview, you can check out my podcast by searching for Worldview Finder on YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes.